At the end of Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter Zero, it was mentioned that Yuta's lineage, like Gojo's, traces back to Michizane Sugawara, who is one of the 3 legendary vengeful spirits of Japan. These were people so famed in their skill as Jujutsu sorcerers that they are still respected to this day. Now, as it turns out, there is a thing in Japanese folklore known as the 3 vengeful ghosts, and one of those 3 vengeful ghosts was Michizane Sugawara. Now, join me as we go into the historical realities of Jujutsu Kaisen's 3 vengeful spirits, starting with Michizane Sugawara himself. Sugawara is currently the only known spirit in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. Now, the only thing known about Sugawara is that his descendants are Yuta and Gojo, who are both 2 of the 4 special grade sorcerers that are recognized in the series. In real life, Sugawara was born into an aristocratic household that specialized in scholarship. At the age of 25, he began his service in the imperial court and quickly rose through the ranks. By age 33, Michizane had attained the highest level of scholarship in Kyoto. By 901, Emperor Yuta named Michizane his Minister of the Right, elevating him to the 2nd highest court rank. Soon after, Yuta retired, turning over control to the government to his eldest son, Emperor Daigo, a man who Michizane had been on friendly terms with. However, the Minister of the Left at the time, Fujiwara Tokihira, along with some other high-position nobles, were very unsettled by Michizane's quick advancements through the court, and so hatched a plan to get rid of Michizane. And so they spread a false rumor to the emperor that Michizane was planning on committing a rebellion. Despite there being a lack of evidence, Michizane was put into exile. Although he was put into exile, Michizane was still able to maintain his title. However, he was not paid. He was not able to set foot into any imperial courts or able to act in any way of his position. Within 2 years, Michizane found himself heartbroken, stuck in abject poverty, and eventually died. After his death, unexplained troubles began to happen in Kyoto. There were cycles of floods and droughts, plagues, and earthquakes. In 908, Fujiwara Suguna, one of Michizane's former students and one of the key conspirators, was struck by lightning and died. The next year, the main conspirator, Fujiwara, inexplicably fell ill and died. Rumors spread among the aristocracy and commoners alike that Michizane's ghost has returned and is seeking revenge. The trouble continued. The man who replaced Michizane as the Minister of the Right fell into a swamp and drowned. Daigo's 2nd son died. The historical record, Nihon Kiraku, attributed his death to Michizane's curse-like and malevolent feelings towards the emperor. Later that year, a fearful Daigo had Michizane reinstated as the Minister of the Right. Before another 3 years has passed, the eldest son of Daigo's recently deceased son also died. Next, Tokihira's oldest son died. Again, fingers pointing to the avenging spirit of Michizane. Anxiety and fear grew. In 930, a meeting was held in the Great Hall of the Imperial Palace with Emperor Daigo in attendance, along with the highest court nobles. Suddenly, a bright forked lightning split the sky and struck the Imperial Hall, causing a devastating fire that killed many important government officials. Daigo, traumatized by this disaster, fell ill and died 3 months later. The vengeful ghost of Michizane embodied in lightning has made his most powerful attack. Then 70 years after his death, Sugawara was deified as Tenjin-sama, a god of sky and storms, and eventually evolved into a kami of scholarship. Now, is there anything in Michizane's past, or of the historical Michizane, that could actually give us an insight into maybe the futures for either Gojo's or Yuta's characters? To be honest, as of this chapter, I don't think so. Both Gojo's and Yuta's moves don't really seem to be influenced based off of anything present in Michizane, either through his life, the legends surrounding him as a vengeful spirit, or even his poetry. However, there maybe is one thing that links all 3 of them together. Perhaps the one thing that does relate Michizane to both Gojo and Yuta is the fact all three of them have been known to be insanely skilled at what they do and have been able to gain quick advancement within their respective fields. For Gojo and Yuta, it's moving up in the Jujutsu world. For Michizane, it's becoming the third most powerful person within all of feudal Japan. And these quick advancements have garnered a lot of hatred for more conservative, traditional members of these circles. So who knows, maybe one day we will actually see the Jujutsu Society turn against Gojo and Yuta. Perhaps maybe as soon as they get an upper hand, they'll act on it and try to eliminate both of them. That'll be all for this week's video. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to stay notified, and have a nice week.